and you were able to actually like capture that because you had a 4-track in your pocket, that's the thing that's so much fun for me. Because I've had people say, well, why wouldn't you just use a laptop? And it's a totally different thing to have a recorder like with you all the time, because you always take your phone with you. And the iPad is still more portable than a laptop, and you're more likely to have it, and you're going to be in a relaxed mood. I don't know about you, but when I'm with my laptop, I'm working, or I feel like I need to be working all the time. So to just be able to surf or like fool around with music stuff on the iPad, I don't feel like I have to work. I can't fix bugs or write emails. I mean, you can write emails, but you don't want to sit and type a whole bunch of long emails on an iPad. You want to enjoy yourself, and that's, I think, the uniqueness of the device, and why it's cool to have a recording program there, is because you can really be free to be creative without being, encumbered by your work.
How's the microphone on the iPad? How does it sound?
It's nice. I mean, it works. It has a head. Despite the technical specs of the iPad, which actually say it only has a headphone jack, it is actually a headset jack, and so you can use various better microphones on the headset jack. The built-in microphone on the iPad is, just as good or better than the one on the iPhone, and people have produced some really great-sounding stuff just using the phone. Part of the freeing thing is not having to have a whole bunch of gear with you. It doesn't mean that there isn't a huge opportunity to make some interesting devices, but the information about how to make iPad devices is tough to get, let's say that.
What would you say is the key feature or the advantage of having your app?
StudioTrack is a big, beautiful, fun multi-track mixer. You can manipulate multiple faders and knobs and things simultaneously, which really starts to give you that analog console feel. You can like record stuff and be moving, changing effects and changing levels like while you're listening back, and it really starts to feel like you have a mixing console in your hands, which can be an instrument in and of itself. So we've added a bunch of new effects that weren't there in 4-track, EQs and compressors on every track, and it sounds really good.
Would I be able to record really 8 tracks? I mean, would it stutter? Would I have pops and cracks? I mean, does it really work?
We wrote it so that you could use all the effects and still not run out of CPU and be able to do all 8 tracks. And we're even, with our testing on the 3GS, we discovered we could even get away with 8 tracks on the 3GS. So you may see an update of 4-track in the future that lets you do 8.
How many effects can you use on each track?
We have 2 effects slots, but some of the effects are more expensive than others. So there's a compressor and a single band peaking EQ. You can use those simultaneously. Or if you need more EQ, you can use a 4-band EQ, which has a low shelf, a high shelf, and 2 peaks. Or you can use the double delay that is tempo syncable. So if you're using the metronome or you've imported drums that have a particular tempo, they can be tempo locked to the delay. And then on the master output, there's a program-dependent compressor on the entire mix and a limiter, so you never have to hear it clip. There's a 4-band stereo EQ, and there is a reverb, and every channel has a reverb send.
That's
and
quite impressive.
The master channel has a reverb return level, so you can every channel can have reverb on it as well.
10 years ago, trying to set up a studio, and I'd be very happy if I could get 3 tracks to actually work without any glitches.
I know it's been a challenge, and finally computers are good at are low enough latency and reliable enough on the interrupt level and stuff like that to not have too many problems. So
what's another question? How's the latency on this app?
Right now we went ahead and shipped it without input monitoring enabled. Of course, it's something we've been experimenting with from the beginning with 4-track. We believe that we'll be able to add input monitoring. The latency right now is somewhere between 20 and 40 milliseconds, which is, 40 is kind of too much. You really want it to be 20 milliseconds or less to be, to feel good when you're singing or playing. It can be, different people are affected by it. Less would be great, but there's still more experimentation that needs to be done.
Are you planning to develop more music apps for the iPad?
Right now, I don't have a specific app that I can tell you about.
All right, let's keep it at that. It's quite impressive. I like it a lot. When I saw the video, I couldn't believe it. So I thought it was a joke, but it's not. It
No,
seems
it's a real deal.
It is. It's one of those things that you expect that existed, and well, here it is now. Have you had any competition lately popping up the scene?
There are a few different multi-tracks for the phone. So far, only us that I know of on the iPad.
That's quite good.
I don't know if other people are, waiting until they have their iPad to develop. I mean, it takes a long time to develop an app, and we're very fortunate to have the team that we have, that we can work so hard. And, I mean, there were many sleepless nights, but that we can turn around an application in 6 weeks is pretty amazing.
6 weeks of development?
I mean, Apple announced that the iPad would ship the week of CES. They said 60 days, and we were at NAMM the whole following week having meetings and doing the trade show thing. And then the following week we had to, decide what we were going to do. So really development didn't start until 2 weeks after Apple announced. So, and then we had to submit it a week before the iPad shipped.
That's quite impressive. I mean, that's a very short time span. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate the time, and anytime you have any questions, we'll talk about anything we're doing, except for I can never promise dates for features that we have in the future, just because we don't know how long things take until we do them most of the time.
And would you like to say something to your community?
Oh, just hello, and keep making music. That's the thing that keeps us inspired, is to hear what you do. So that's that's actually the reason we created Riffworld, was so that we could hear what people were doing with our software. So if you make something cool, send it in, and their support or info or anywhere, let us hear what you do.
Thank you, Douglas, and I hope we keep seeing your developments, and thank you for this great app. It's really fantastic.
Okay, thanks a lot, man. Cheers.
Cheers to you. This has been Douglas Wright, the president of Sonoma Wireworks, a software company in California, which has created an application called StudioTrack, available at the iTunes App Store. And this has been the first interview for the iPadStudioBlog.com. Visit the iPad Studio blog at iPadStudioBlog.com. This is Rico Escalante. It has been a pleasure, and thank you.